this is just a little taste of the way I teach. So to help you kind of understand what we're doing here. All right, so let's get started. Starting on your mat, there is no equipment needed for this class today. So let's start on our backs. Drop your knees into each other. Your feet can be a little bit wider than your hips. We call this constructive rest pose. So your arms can be alongside your body, straight down. Palms can be on the floor, or you can turn your palms to the ceiling. So just check in, see how your arms feel, palms down or palms up. And let's start with some breath. This breath is going to be what we call three-part breath. So I want you to inhale from the bottom of your lungs, draw the breath to your center of your lungs, to the top of your lungs, pause at the top, and exhale all the air out of your lungs. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Inhale deep from the bottom of the lungs, middle of the lungs, top of the lungs, pause, and exhale. Give yourself 3 more. Each class, we will always start with a breath, get us centered and ready for a class. And then take an inhale through the nose, easy breath in, easy breath out. And let's hug your right knee into your chest, reach your left leg straight to the floor, and begin to circle your right ankle. And reverse your ankle circle. Take your hands behind your right thigh or hold onto your thigh and point and flex your foot. Warming up your hamstrings, your feet. Last one. Hug this knee back into your chest. Take the left hand to your right knee, right arm shoulder height. Roll your left leg over the right. Let your right toes drop to the floor, right arm releasing. Maybe it reaches the floor, maybe it's hovering. That's okay. Let gravity in your breath release. 2 more breaths here. Roll yourself back to center. Hug your left knee into your chest, straighten the right leg. Circle your left ankle. And reverse. Straighten the left leg up to the ceiling. Just hold onto your thigh or clasp your hands behind your leg. Point and flex your left foot. 2 more times. Hug your knee back into your chest. Take right hand to left knee, left arm shoulder height. Supine twist, rolling left leg over the right. Come back to your nice deep breath. When we twist, we want to find this mobility in our rib cage while we support this low back in our twist, so the left toe can just gently rest on the floor. One more deep breath. Slowly roll yourself back to your center. Drop your left foot to the floor, bend your right knee and pull your right foot to the floor. So your feet are sit bone distance apart, your butt bones, or you can take them a little bit wider than your hips. Your choice here in your bridge this morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you're taking it. So arms alongside your body. And then I want you to pull your tailbone off the floor. Your low back pushes into the mat. This is a posterior tilt of your pelvis. And then I want you to roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, just lifting each vertebrae off the floor like you're lifting a string of beads off the mat, 1 bead at a time. And then start to roll yourself back down, 1 bead at a time, 1 vertebrae at a time. This is where you'll find that maybe you have some space in your spine that's tight and you're kind of coming down in a clunk. So this is just finding out what's happening in our body, what's going on in our spine. Are we able to mobilize it in all 6 directions, or is it getting stuck? This is more of a Pilates bridge, and I like this just because I can get into those stuck places in my spine. Give yourself one more bridge. And then I want you to roll up and hold yourself into your bridge. Turn your palms to face up. Roll your shoulders under. Push into all 4 points of your feet. Push the big toe into the floor. Finding strength in the back of your legs. Bridges are so important to get our glute strength, hip strength, support our low back, and then start to roll yourself back down one vertebrae at a time. Hug both knees to your chest and rock yourself side to side. And then roll to your one side, and then let's take ourselves, to all fours. So you're rolling onto your front side. So if you have tight wrists, I want you to come with your shoulders behind your wrists, and you're kind of shifting your hips towards your heels. And then bring your shoulders over the wrists, and then slide your shoulders away from the wrists. Bring the shoulders to the wrists. A lot of these movements in our yoga, we ask for a lot of flexibility in our wrists. So we always want to begin class warming up our wrists, especially if you work a lot on computers. This helps with that carpal tunnel and that overuse of the wrists and the forearms. Maybe now you can bring your shoulders over your fingers and then slide back. Maybe reaching shoulders over the fingers and come back. One more time. Okay, now you know where your wrists are comfortable. I want you to find that place for today. And let's step your right leg behind you. Put the right toe on the floor, squeeze the right thigh. Now lift this right leg up off the mat, flex your right foot, and then reach your left arm forward. And imagine that I'm pulling this left arm forward and this right leg back. Pull the front of your ribs up towards the ceiling. So your ribs should be nice and contained over your hips as if you're standing. And then take your left elbow under your belly to your right knee. Inhale as you reach forward. Exhale, left elbow to right knee. 2 more. Last one. Drop left hand and right knee. Tap your left toe to the floor. Reach your right arm forward. Lift the left leg, flexed foot. It's our spinal balance, getting our transverse abdominis. It's like a girdle muscle that wraps from our back to our front to help us stabilize. And then right elbow to left knee under your belly. Inhale to reach. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. 2 more. Release right hand and left knee. Push yourself back to a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees can be spread wide. Deepen your breath, expanding the ribs, front to back, side to side. Walk your hands to the left, shift your hips and ribs towards the right side. Maybe you can take your left hand on top of your right to take this stretch a little bit deeper. Come back to center, take an exhale. Walk your hands to the right, shift your hips and ribs towards the left, right hand and left. And that's an option. One more breath. Come back to center. And then round yourself all the way back up. And let's find a cat-cow. So round your spine, push the floor away, drop the crown of your head to your floor. So their spine is rounding up towards the ceiling. You can look at your navel or between your legs. This is our cat. And then lower your spine towards the floor. Look forward. Pull the sit bones up, nice straight arms. Push away the floor still with the arms. And then give yourself an exhale as you round your spine. Pull that tailbone under, drop the crown of your head towards the floor, push the floor away. And then inhale to your cow. Lower your belly, look forward. Your sit bones, those butt bones are looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round your spine for cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, rounding to cat. Last one. Hold your neutral spine. Let's walk your hands, one handprint forward. You're going to shift forward. So now your wrists are under your shoulders again, and we're in this kneeling plank. I want you to soften your shoulders away from your ears. Look forward. Imagine you have a broomstick in the back of your skull between your shoulder blades, and it lands between your hips. It's our sacrum, holding our hips together. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees up for a full plank. Push your hips to the ceiling for your down dog. Pedal your heels, walking your dog. If you're not able to get your heels down, that's okay. Sometimes we're not flexible in our front of our ankles. So look at the front of your ankles. Check in with that flexibility. And then hold your heels heavy. Pull your upper arm bones towards your ears. Spread your fingers wide. Feel your entire palm on the floor, all your fingers on the mat. 2 more breaths. Look between your hands. Tippy toe your feet to your hands. Come to a forward fold. Options here. Your forearms are above your knees. Drop your forehead towards the floor. Release your hands to the floor. Maybe you circle your arms. Maybe you stay with your forearms on above your knees and your shins. So it's your body. I want you to bring your body to yoga, not yoga to your body. So there's a ton of options for you anytime you come into a class. Let's find what we call halfway lift. Palms to your shins, lengthen the spine, pull the abdominals in and up. Exhale back to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms to your shins, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen spine, reaching crown of your head to the front, tailbone reaching back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, reach your arms out wide overhead, and then bring your hands to your heart center. Let's find our mountain pose, arms alongside our body. Find all 4 points of your feet, eyes float shut or eyes open, reaching crown of your head towards the ceiling, grounding in your feet. And then let's rock forward and rock back, rock forward and rock back. Now shift to the right, shift to the left, forward and back, checking in with our feet. Tons of sensors in our feet, helping us know where we are in space. As I said, the reason we do our yoga and Pilates, for me anyway, is to do everything else in life, make it a little bit easier, more available to us, help us stave off injuries, not doing the same thing all the time, giving our muscles, our joints different movements, our brain different movements. All right, hold ourselves, all 4 points of your feet nice and strong on the floor. Reach your arms overhead, give yourself an inhale. Let's circle those shoulders, arms behind you. Take your arms shoulder height, sink into a chair pose. Check in, are your feet parallel or your big toes can touch and your knees can be separate? For me, I like my feet parallel. It helps me a little bit more. Take an inhale, reach your arms overhead. Circle your arms behind you, find chair. Pull those ribs back and down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, circle. 3 more. Hold your chair pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to your shins, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold. Step the right leg back, then the left leg back. Find a plank pose. Please drop your knees unless you can push a 25-pound weight on your back over towards the ceiling. Pull the belly in nice and strong. Rip the mat apart with your hands. And then bend your elbows alongside your ribs for your chaturanga. Inhale to your baby cobra. Maybe lift the hands off the floor. Pull the abdominals in and up. Push your toes into the floor. Drop your hands back down. Push to your knees. Curl your toes under, down dog. Look between your hands, tippy toe, or maybe you want to hop to your hands, palms to your shins, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse your swan dive. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale, swan dive to your forward fold. Inhaling to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step the left leg back, then the right leg back to your plank. Squeeze the thighs, push the floor away. Try to pull the hands away from each other like you're pulling pizza dough away from each other. And then drop the knees. Bend the elbows, lower halfway. Inhale to your baby cobra. An up dog. You're on the tops of your feet. Your knees are off. Soften the shoulders away from your ears. Pull the belly in. Exhale to your down dog. Look between your hands. Step or hop your feet to the front of your mat. Find your halfway lift. Palms to your shins. Lengthen spine. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse your swan dive. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhale as you reach up. Bend to your left. Palms touch. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale as you swan dive to your forward fold. Bow in. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back. So now you're in a low lunge. Squeeze this back leg. Right hand under your right shoulder. And then twist the left arm up. Hug the inner thighs towards each other. And I want you to twist from the ribs. The arm comes along for the ride. Take your left hand inside your left foot. Walk to the right for your standing straddle. Turn to your right foot. Spin the left heel to the back of the mat. Left hand stays on the floor. Twist right arm up. So if you have blocks, you can always use blocks here, or books or shoebox. And then release right hand inside right foot. Walk to your left, back to your standing straddle. Pull the knees towards each other. And then let's walk to your left foot. Step the left foot to meet the right foot in a plank pose. Option here to drop your knees for a kneeling plank. So your choice, full plank, kneeling plank. Soften shoulders away from our ears. Push back to a child's pose. Let's come onto your right side. You're on your forearm, and then straighten the legs long. I want you to roll onto your hips. So if you feel any tightness, you can do the same thing standing. I want you to lift the top leg and lower. So now these ribs, we call this our undercarriage in Pilates. We want them to be lifted up towards the ceiling and away from the floor. 3 more. Lift this top leg and circle. 3, 2, 1, and reverse. 3, 2, 1. Drop the top leg. Now the bottom leg, we're going to work this inner thigh. This top leg can be behind the bottom leg, can be in front of it, or you can keep them both stacked. With the exhale, we lift this bottom leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Hardest part is keeping our hips stacked. So if you rock this top hip back, I can really lift my leg up pretty high. So keep the hips stacked. Use the exhale to lift. Last one. Watch this shoulder. It's going to want to creep up to the ear. All right, let's come on to your bellies. Take your hands under your forehead. Bend your knees. And then spread your knees wider than your hips. Glue the heels to touch. We call this Pilates V feet. Looks like a slice of pizza. Take an inhale. Exhale as you lift your thighs off the floor. Inhale, lower your legs. Exhale, lift the legs. Pubic bone is resting on the floor. One more. Push yourself back to a child's pose. Strengthening your glutes and hamstrings and then releasing them in your child's pose. All right, back over to your left side. Stack the legs, stack the hips. And again, some of us are super tight in the hips or the thighs, and this is really hard. So you can stand up and do this as well. Pull this left shoulder down, lift your ribs. Right hand can be in front of your belly. Lift the top leg and lower. 2 more. Lift this top leg and hold and circle 3 times and reverse. So depending on your hip, this top leg can be behind your leg, in front of it, or it can be stacked. So just do what works best for this top hip. Stack the hips like you have a stake between the hips. Exhale as you lift the bottom leg. I don't get very far. If I rock my hip back, I can, but I really want you to try to stabilize these hips. Use your core. This is our obliques working as we exhale to help lift the leg. Last one. Nice job. This time, let's roll onto your backside. We're going to move into a few Pilates movements. Hug your right knee into your chest, straighten the left leg. This is what we call single leg stretch. Push your shin into your hands. Lift and hover the left leg. Lift your chest. We inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Where your eyes go, the neck goes. So look at your navel or look between your legs. Last set. And release back down. Okay, last one is our crisscross. Hands behind our head. Straighten the left leg, draw left shoulder to right knee, and then switch. So I like to drop the opposite elbow to the floor. Last set. And release back down. Hug both knees, rock side to side. Take your feet wide to the outside edge of the mat. Windshield wipe your legs side to side. Back to center. Hug your knees back to your chest. Bring your forehead to your knees. Tighten yourself up like a nice tight ball. Take a deep inhale. Exhale as you release to your Shavasana or final relaxation. So we began this class in constructive rest pose. If that feels best for you, you can come back to that place. Otherwise, take your legs long. Your palms can face up or down. Let your body rest on the floor. Feeling this connection. Easy in and exhale through the nose, not forced breath. And take the next 5 breaths. Breathe in the words, I am, and exhale a positive word or phrase. Your knees back to your chest, rock side to side. Roll to your favorite side. Let your head rest in your upper arm for a few breaths. And then gently lift yourself to your easy seated position. Let's take a nice deep inhale and exhale as you bring your hands to your heart center. And thank you so much for joining me today. The light, love, and peace in my heart honors the light, love, and peace in each of your hearts. Namaste.